Hello, everybody. I have the chance to talk with Giulio Bodo, so I invite you to listen to our little conversation we will have around the piano, music, and other stuff.
So, how are you doing today?
I'm fine. I hope you are fine too. Here in France, there's finally some sun. In Brazil, I know you have always sun, but here it's always cold, rainy. So I'm glad we have some sun today.
At what age did you start learning the piano, and why did you choose this instrument?
I was very young when I started to play the piano. I was 4 years old. So, in fact, I saw an orchestra playing on television when I was 3 years old. And I said to my parents, that's what I want to do. I want to learn music. That was as a language that I recognized, but but I could not play it or speak it. But I wanted to start with the violin, but at 3 and 4 years old, there is no teacher where I live that teaches at that early age. So we find a private teacher, but it was not the violin, it was a piano. And that's why it became my instrument. I also play the violin, but piano is where my heart lies, is my soul, is my body, is my instrument.
Fantastic. And can you share with us a moment in your career that moved you deeply, that changed your perspective as an artist?
There are many. If I have to think about one, like I said, I had a private teacher, and she was married to an artist, a painter, and also a sculptor. And he made huge, big paintings. And when I
Mhm.
went to her classes, theory and other solfège, we say in France, there were always the big new paintings in the classroom behind me. And I always looked, and I made the link between music and art. The forms, the colors he uses, the movement in the paintings. And that was a big changement for me, that I don't only listen to music, but I also see music with related to art. That's one big thing that changed my perspective of music.
Great. And what does music mean to you?
Ha, music is my whole life. It's who I am. I cannot imagine being Veronique without music. It's the way I live. It's the way I breathe air. It's the way I talk to people. I connect with people. All is related to art and to music. It's just a way of being. It's not only just playing my notes. No, it's my friends. It's my social life. It's who I am.
And you can be considered an experimental, classical, traditional musician that
Yeah.
makes contemporary elements in your performances. And how do you do this? How do you mix all these elements?
For me, it's important that people get to know also not the conventional music, the Bach, Beethoven, the Chopin, Rachmaninoff, but that they also learn that music from today is also important and very interesting. So I make the mix because people are a bit afraid, a bit scared when you play the piano differently, when you play in the chords in the piano, when you use drumsticks or other instruments. They say, "Oh, that's not piano playing." So you have to go slowly to make a mix so that they can see the link between the melody and the harmonics of a classical piece, and the same, but in the contemporary music. And after I played my concert, a mix with classical and with contemporary music, they say, "Oh, okay, it's not what I thought it would be. It's also nice, and now I get it. What it is, modern music, contemporary music. Now we get finally the meaning of it." So for me, it's important to have the two given to the public.
Fantastic. And what could you say to a musician? I mean, a student who wants to become a professional musician. What would you say? What tips can you give?
Tips, first of all, he has always stayed genuine, be himself or herself. It's a go. It's important that they don't do what people expect them to do, to follow all the conventional path that has been already walked before, but that they stay true to their own mind, to their soul, what they think, how they see music. That is important, and also practice is important, which is logic. And for me, what is also a third interesting point is be surrounded with people who think alike, with other musicians, with other artists, composers. So you have a mix, an influence of your environment. That is very important also.
Fantastic. Tell me more about your plans for the future in your career. What projects
For
have
this
you
year,
got?
I have multiple projects going on. First of all, I played George Crumb, the book's Metamorphosis, together with live video. I do it with a director from Italy, Francesco Leprino is his name, and we will do the first integrale, the two books of George Crumb in multiple concerts in Europe, Italy, France, Belgium, Germany, everywhere. That's a big part of my projects. Then I do also the music of Philip Glass, the minimalist American composer. Together with an actor, we make sort of a theater, like a biography concerts with the music of Philip Glass. Um, I have my own album that will come out in Berlin, in Germany, with the Turkish minimalist DJ Tolga Baklasiyaglu. If I hope I say it's right, his name. So that are three important projects for me this year: George Crumb, Philip Glass, and my own music, my disc.
Fantastic. If I want to listen to you, what channels should I browse?
My
Websites?
YouTube channel, I have my website, Instagram. I use all the social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, everywhere. But the music, if you just want to listen to the music, go to YouTube. But I'm more than just a musician. I'm also with photo and video art, and that you can see on Instagram.
Arts to another level, right?
Yeah, yes, yes, yes. For me, music is not only the sound; it's more, and it's important that people see that that it can be more. So yes,
Fantastic. Thank you very much for the interview. We're
it was
gonna
pleasure.
we're gonna show a video of yours, you playing something for us at the end of the interview. Any messages to Brazil? And this video will be on YouTube, right? Any messages to
I
people?
send a lot of love to Brazil and a lot of good energy, good vibes. And I thank you, Julio Bodo, for having me here to have this little interview, this little conversation. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you so much. I wish you luck.
Okay, thank you. Bye bye.